Hey, welcome back to the 5-Minute Strategist. I want to know if you've ever done this. So you think about what your goal is for the year, and then you do the calculation where you work out how many of the thing that you sell you need to sell in order to make that goal. So let's say you want to make 100,000 and you sell something for 1,000, you need to sell 100 of them. And then you go, okay, how many is that a month? So you divide it by 12, and now you're getting just under one a month. And you think, that feels reasonable. I'm ready for that. And when you're a smaller business, that makes complete sense. It's a way for you to not feel overwhelmed by the idea of selling probably more than you've ever sold before. However, when we change that goal from I want to make 100,000 to I want to make 500,000 or 700,000 or a million or a million plus, simply going, can I sell that much, is only a teeny tiny portion of the picture. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, that's what we're basing the decision on. Can I make $1 million? Yes, okay, I need to sell this many packages. Excellent. Okay, now I can see how I can make all those numbers work. But the reality is you have to ask yourself, not just can I sell that, but is my business ready to hold that level of revenue? Can you deliver on what you've promised without everything going to the proverbial ish? So if you're thinking about growing your business, and that could mean that you have simply thought about, I want to make more money this year than I did last year, okay? I want you to do this mini self-assessment right now. We want to think through your whole business. I'm going to assume you've got sales and marketing covered because that's the piece we always think about. So let's step back and think about the rest of your business. First of all, let's think about your operations. So that's your systems, your processes, your tech. Can they handle the increase that you're talking about? Look, when you're growing a business, systems are meant to break. However, you want them to break further down the line, not in the first push of growth. So how much more can your current ops and systems take? Second, I want you to think about your financials. Do you have a reliable cash flow coming in? Do you understand how much you're going to have to spend to make that much more money? And then finally, I want you to think about your team. Growing a business means that things are going to break. Things are going to go wrong. So you need your team to be at peak performance when you start to grow your business, because you are going to rely on them so heavily to fix the things as they break. So I want you to start there. Think about what gaps you might have and where you could make some improvements. Let's think a little bit more deeply about each of them. So if you think about your team, what you really want is clear roles and responsibilities. When you're pushing to grow your business, that's when you're your most vulnerable for things getting missed. You're pushing your systems to the limit. Your team need to know exactly who's on deck for what. Otherwise, when a ball gets dropped, everyone's spending all their time pointing their fingers at each other instead of solving the problem. Second, you want to make sure your team has rock solid communication. You want them to be all about that collaboration and that problem solving together. So that when things go wrong, all hands on deck, everybody's trying to solve the problem together. And finally, you want to think about whether or not you have the right team for the level that you're growing to. And this is a place where I see small business owners really struggle, is that you love your team. Sometimes your team have been with you since the beginning. But the reality is that not everybody will grow with your business. Someone who's been with you at the beginning was exactly what you needed for that stage of your business. They might not be the right person for what you need at this new level. So sometimes understanding that they're not going to be the right person going forward and having that conversation is actually the kinder thing to do than allowing them to go to that new level with you and watching them fail. Okay, let's think about your ops. I almost want you to be so bored with your business that you're thinking about breaking stuff for fun before you do that big push. I want your systems to be so solid that they require virtually no interaction from you or your team before you start to push. Because ultimately when you grow until they break. And then you take a moment and you re-optimize, stabilize everything, and then you grow again. If they can't handle this level so easily that nothing is breaking, you're going to have a real problem when you start to add to it. So think through all of your processes. Where is something not efficient? Where is something not able to handle additional flow coming through it? Where is your tech potentially going to need an upgrade? You know, if you are growing your business tenfold, something as simple as your CRM is going to need to be able to handle that increased flow. So you want all of your systems, your tech, your processes right now to be running smoothly before you start adding to them. Otherwise, they're going to break way sooner and you're going to stunt that growth because you're going to have to stop to fix them. Okay, finally, your financials. Here, you want to make sure you've got the money that you need to support the growth that you're planning. That means you need to understand how much it's going to cost you to grow. How much you're going to have to spend on marketing. Do you need to do a hiring campaign? Do you need to upgrade your tech? What is it going to cost you to deliver what you plan to sell? And then understand that there's a really good chance that no matter how hard you plan for this, no matter how detailed you go, you're probably going to miss something. Something unexpected is going to happen. And so you want to make sure that that doesn't derail all the growth. You don't want to have to put the brakes on because suddenly you've run out of money. So we also want to create that buffer or a little cushion so that when something unexpected happens, you're ready for it. So when you think about what your next big success marker is, what that next milestone is, I want you to remember it's not just about how do I get my revenue to that level. It's also about thinking, how do I make sure that this is sustainable? How do I make sure that I safely grow my business? How do I make sure that everybody who's in my business survives that period of growth? We don't want to scale by sacrificing our reputation for great work. We want to scale safely, and that means understanding whether or not your business can hold that new level that you are aiming for. So where are the gaps in your business right now that you need to improve on before you can really push for that big revenue goal of your dreams?